It's being reported that last week, Donald Trump actually asked for plans, a variety of options on how best to attack Iran after it was reported that their uranium stockpiles were 13 times larger than what reports are calling legally accepted. Now, that's a dubious claim. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But first and foremost, this was days after the election was essentially called for Joe Biden. Donald Trump, in a pissy mood, very moody, very angry, very wanting to make people pay, decides, you know what? I'm going to just go and attack Iran. I'm going to attack their largest area of where they're storing all of this allegedly illegal uranium. If not for any other reason than to just hurt Joe Biden when he becomes president of the United States. Because one of the things that it is assumed is going to happen when Joe Biden becomes president is that he's going to get us back into the Iran agreement, which is what brings me to my next point. These reports of Iran having 13 times the, quote, legal limit of uranium. Legal limit as compared to what? We backed out of the agreement. We're the ones who broke that treaty. So when you say legal limit according to who? The other country still in the treaty? Okay, fantastic. So why would that mean our military intervention here? We abdicated that right. We gave up any authority we may have on the issue when Donald Trump pulled us out of that agreement that at the time was working, by the way. It was working. There were no problems, even though Republicans love to say, like, Obama got Schwinn. You can't point to a single piece of evidence that shows that happened. They were not stockpiling nuclear materials at the time. They have, of course, been doing so since we pulled out, right? There's no question about that. Does that mean that we need to go over there and start yet another unwinnable war in an area where we're already fighting multiple different unwinnable wars? Absolutely not. A crisis like this requires statesmanship, requires diplomacy. If we sent decent negotiators over there or brought them here to speak with competent statesmen, we could absolutely have this whole thing resolved. We could get that country back on the right track without ever having to fire a single shot. But that takes time, it takes effort, and more importantly, it takes intelligence. And that's something our Defense Department doesn't ever want to do. When they think of intelligence, they're not talking about using their brains. They're talking about dirt on their enemies that they can use to justify a war. That's what intelligence means to them. We need people with brains to sit down at a table and talk to other people like human beings. And we need to stop getting so worked up about the fact that other countries may have these weapons that we don't want them to have because we're scared they're going to use them on us. Meanwhile, everybody else on the planet is scared of us because we have these weapons and they don't trust us. Do you see what I'm saying? How can we be the police of the world when we keep telling people, hey, whatever you do, don't do what we're doing because we're the only ones allowed to do that? If I'm another country, I'm thinking like, holy hell, no, like you're dangerous and you're crazy and you've got a ton of these weapons. I need one just in case you decide to go insane, like you have for the last 4 years. We cannot be the nuclear police of the world until we as a country denuclearize. This is an all or nothing kind of thing. We do have to get other countries on board, absolutely. But we have to lead the charge. And until we do that, and unless we do that, we're going to be sitting here pretending we have the moral high ground, wagging our finger, telling other countries, you can't do the thing that we're doing. And then the second it looks like they may kind of possibly be doing something like that, we suddenly have a president drafting up plans on how to go bomb them back to the Stone Age.